Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Kate here. In today's video, we're going to be doing a video on horse life again, and this time we're going to be doing a video on how to basically play horse life. Now, it's kind of simple to play horse life, and I'm pretty sure you'd get the hang of it after playing for a good 10 minutes, but I thought in today's video, why not make a video on how to play the game, everything you really need to know about the game, and some tips on how to get things in the game faster, and everything you basically need to know, from stats to horses to the unique horses like unicorns, gargoyles, and also like breeding and everything like that. So everything is going to be covered in today's video, so stick tuned if you're kind of confused on how to do certain things, or if you want to know some tips on how to do things easier. But with that said, make sure to like and also subscribe to the video and my channel, as it is very appreciated and helpful and helps the video be seen by others. With that said though, let's go ahead and just get right into it. So when you first join into the game, you will have at least 1 or 2 horses, and horses can be useful for multiple things. Horses can be sold for money, and horses can also be used to actually collect resources, which are needed in order to actually tame things. So you'll be in the main area right here when you spawn in. I suggest once you spawn in to go around with the 1 horse or the 2 horses that you have and collect things like apples. Apples are going to be used for taming horses. Now you can also go around collecting other resources like for instance peppermints or stuff like that. Any type of food you can actually use to tame horses. There is 2 ways to currently tame horses, which is using a lasso and using food. I recommend using the food one, especially if you're new to the game, as you don't have to actually use any money to get the food. You can just use your horses to collect the food. You can also use lassos though, as that is an option to tame. All you have to do is go to the store and hit shop, and you can see all these objects for lassos, the expensive ones being one of the best ones to get for using to tame. Also, I think by default you get 1 free lasso when you spawn into the game for the first time. But now going on to actually taming the horses, now that I explained everything and how to basically prepare for taming a horse. Now I have 2 things. I have a 250 coins worth of lasso right here and apples. I have plenty of them. Make sure if you're using apples only to tame, you have plenty of them. Do not use a horse if you're going to be over here taming them with just food, because it will startle them. If you are on mobile, there will probably be a crouch button, but if you're on PC, you can hit C to crouch, and you can approach any of the horses you're trying to tame. When you are taming a horse, you have to hit E to feed, and you can see this little circle right here. Do not hit the part with the rope, only hit the part with the red, because if you hit the part with the rope, it will take away a heart, and you will have to worry about that. Now, when you actually catch the horse, this is going to have a keep or sell. You can sell the horse that you just caught for how much it is worth, or you can keep it, and when you keep it, it will go into your inventory, and you can also still sell it in your inventory. With this one though, I'm going to sell him because I do not need him. Different breeds, so for example the gargoyle here, which is running away from me, has actually different hearts. So horses have a good 4 hearts. As for the gargoyle and the unicorn, they have more hearts. I think I have to walk away from him. He's taking a little bit to not be startled. Okay, there we go. So once you startle them, you probably have to walk away a little bit, because then you won't be able to feed them. With the gargoyles and the unicorns, you have to have a specific lasso to be able to actually tame them. I like to personally just use apples, as it's easier for me in this sense, because a stone lasso for a gargoyle is like a good $2,000, and it's pretty expensive to buy that lasso. The unicorn also, it has a specific lasso. I do not know which one that is. I do know the gargoyle is the stone one though. So if you do not have enough money and you want to tame a gargoyle or a unicorn and you find one, then I would suggest just getting a lot of apples and taming them. So as you can see though, the gargoyle and the unicorn have more hearts, so it's harder to tame them than it is a normal horse. Now for the lassos, when you go to buy them in the shop, you can see everything in the description, how many studs the range is, the cooldown, which is the most important thing because of that, the heart gain, the lasso size. I like to get this one. If you do not have a lot, I would suggest getting the string or the torn. The torn's like the starter one, and it has a 4-second cooldown. With the lasso though, you can go up to a horse. You have to be on an actual horse though to tame it with a lasso. So if you do not have a horse, you cannot tame it without it, because I don't know why, but it doesn't let you. Oh, hold on. So with this, you can actually just go up to the horse and aim, like I said, and it's kind of simple and a lot faster than feeding them, but it also does cost money to get a lasso, and that's why I like to feed them instead of actually using a lasso to tame them, if you're trying to get money, that is. If you're just trying to tame them fast enough, then the lasso is the way to go. I wouldn't recommend getting very expensive lassos unless you're like hunting for unicorns or gargoyles, because those ones are harder to tame and have, of course, more hearts. So that is how you use a lasso, and that's how you tame the horses in both of those ways. So moving on to the stables, here you can actually open the stables. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I'm going over literally everything. So here you can see all of your horses. Right here we have the max amount equipped, meaning how many you can have out at a time. You can always upgrade this one, and also with this one it requires how many lasso and food tames. As you can see, to get 5 more I have to have 100, and also another 100 for the lasso and the food tames. Which I just showed before this. You can also equip or upgrade how many you can have in your inventory. So I would have extra 5 slots after this. I don't know the max for these just yet, but you can also go in here and you can search. So for example, if I'm looking for Aster, I can just put in his name or her name, and then you can find her. With these horses, you can actually select it and you can see everything about the horse. You can see the age, the gender, the species, the size, the origins. You can also see these traits that you can get in breeding and the stats for the horse. I will get into those in a second, but I'm just going over the UI. You can unequip, you can claim child if you have the horse pregnant, and you can also hit breed, which will equip them breed. And you can also sell the horses. You can see also the gender and the age of the horse in this little slot without clicking them. So that is pretty nice. You can also name the horse or rename it. You can only do that once you do that, unless you've already named it when you captured it. If not, you actually, like if I go to Riz for example, you'd have to actually get a name tag, which costs I think around 3,000 coins in order to rename them. So for breeding, this is actually kind of advanced in a certain way with like patterns and stuff. But for example, we have this unicorn here. If I wanted to breed her, I would hit breed. Right now I have a lot of males on cooldown because I just did a breeding span or whatever you want to call it. And you can see that also they can't breed with related horses. So if this one is related to a horse, it cannot breed with them. So for example, you can just hit one of these. You can still choose them if they're on cooldown, you just can't breed them. So if I wanted to breed these two, I can predict it for 1 coin. And you can see it shows the predictions of the horse and what you could possibly get when breeding these two. Each time you do this, as you can see, my money goes down $1, so it's not too cheap. And oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. Look at that. I hope I get that. But you can see, of course, the predictions of what you can possibly get with these two, and what you're breeding them. And then you can, of course, hit breed. And then when you hit breed, you can go to the horse and let's, for example, go to Bambi. You can see it has a countdown and you can claim the child when the countdown's done. A little tip I wanted to say about breeding, if you have a countdown for 5 hours, let's say, and you don't want to wait that long, you can go to inventory, and if you have extra food like peppermints, carrots, literally any type of food, you can equip that and go to the horse that is pregnant and feed them. You can see when I fed Bambi here, it went down 10 minutes, and you can obviously see that. It's basically to reduce the countdown for the, like, for example, now it's 4 hours, so you can basically just keep feeding the horse until it is ready to give birth if you really wanted to, so you don't have to wait for the breeding spree. Another thing about breeding is you can see how the value is for the horse. For example, Carrot here, you have the age, the species, and all the extra patterns, and every pattern that it has, it goes up $8. The species is also another thing to keep an eye on. If you have a gargoyle, for example, it is 88 instead of actually being 50 for the species, and unicorns it is 75. Now if you are breeding and you want to sell the baby, I would suggest growing the baby first, as if you grow the baby to an adult, it will have 50 plus for the age, which will make it more money for you to sell it. So it's kind of cool that you can see the value here, and you can also see the value when you breed them. Or when you capture a horse, you'll see the value once you capture or breed them, and you can see how much it will go for, which of course babies are cheaper if you do not grow them all the way, and I'd suggest growing them if you want to get the full value of that horse. A tiny thing that's not really major or help you in any way or sort of form is sizes. Every horse has a different size kind of span. For example, Quest is huge, Carrot is tiny, Yarrow is a giant, and Bambi is big. So as you can see, if you look at Carrot especially, they have different sizes. So every horse will kind of have different sizes unless they're of course the same kind of size. With the gargoyles and the unicorns, they don't have the big range that horses do. Most of the unicorns and most of the gargoyles are like huge or giant or big, for example. So they don't have much of a variety at the moment for the sizes. The horses are the only ones that kind of have that major kind of range for it. Also, you can see the traits for breeding here, so you can see what the horse has for colors and the unicorn and stuff, and what it has for like patterns and stuff if you're trying to look deeper into breeding. Moving on to stats though, we have 4 different stats here. I don't know if in the future there'll be different ones, but let's go to Quest because I've been using her the most. For example, we have agility. Agility is basically the stat that you can obtain when you're riding a horse. As you can see, you saw 5 XP just pop up. Every time that you're riding a horse, it will give them 5 XP for every time that you're walking them, running them, trotting. Basically, anytime you're just using the horse and walking around with them, it gives that horse 5 XP. Now for Bambi, for example, you can only get XP if you're actually riding the horse. So if the horse is following you, it's not going to be gaining XP for agility. Strength is actually for when you attack food resources. So for example, this bush over here, when I get close enough, if we go over here and select it and we start attacking it, you will get XP for the, what was it called again? For the strength. All the horses that attack the bush will be getting 10 XP from the bush, and they will get that for strength. I'm pretty sure when they level up in those, then it's faster to break them because they have more strength. The next one is fertility. Fertility is when you breed a horse. So every time the horse is bred, male or female, it will go up in the XP. Now, I don't necessarily know what that's for, if it has any use yet, but my guess is if you have bigger fertility, it gives you better offspring and better stats for the actual breed. Which is nice for the horse. The last one we have is jumping. Now jumping is actually obtained when you go over a log or any type of jump obstacle. You can see here we have a log, and every time you jump over it, it gives you 5 XP. I think that the ones up here actually give you like 10 XP. I'm gonna check real quick. But every time that you do this, it will give you XP, so you can just go around jumping. Like this one gives you 20. So these ones give you 20, the logs give you like 5 XP. I don't necessarily know what the jumping's used for, other than the fact that you can jump better. Maybe in the future it will have more of a use, but for now, every time you jump over these, you gain more XP. And basically, it just makes it better for jumping, as you can see. So that's what the last one is for. Now, if you're curious on what these little parts right here, these little hooves on the floor are meant for, the green ones are meant for actually speeding you up. For example, when you run into it, it actually makes you a lot faster. The orange ones actually give you stamina, so as you can see, I just ran over that one with the green one and it gave me extra stamina. If you hit shift on the PC, you will be able to race sprint, which is farther up than gallop. It takes a lot of your stamina too, so if you're going to be using it, be careful of your stamina, because then you like run out of it pretty quickly. A little tiny thing is you can actually favorite your horses too, so if you hit the heart button, you will not be able to sell the horse. So if you accidentally for some reason try selling the horse, it will say you can't sell favorite horses. So this is a good thing if you want to keep that horse or you don't want it to be sold or anything like that. So that's a little thing that's extra that you can use. Now, if you're looking for apples, if you see these little buckets right here, this is where you basically get the apples. You can hit the ones right here in the lobby. This is what I'm gonna call the lobby because it's basically where you spawn in every time that you join the game. And then if you hit these bushes, they actually give you different things like peppermints, for example, and all the extra stuff like dandelions, which you can also feed to your horses. Now you'll also find chests like this one around the map too. Chests can be used to actually get currency, so every time that you break a chest you will actually gain currency. So there's different like things you can actually attack and they'll give you different things as well. There's also one other thing that gives you like sugar cubes and stuff, which I can actually go find real quick and show you guys. Oh, it's right here actually. So if you hit one with like hay and stuff, it has a chance of giving you sugar cubes and basically extra stuff that's kind of not found in bushes or those little apple bins. I did get apples from that though. They do give apples, so that's also a chance of getting those, but if you're really just looking mainly for apples, I would hit this, as you also have a chance to get green apples. So with the food, you can feed all this stuff to the actual horses, but if you click on them, you can see the skip gestation time. With the green apple, it takes out 15 minutes. These ones give 3, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Apples are 5. I normally, for tips, I actually like to just keep the apple in the second inventory and only use apples to tame the horses, as using a green apple, for instance, will not make the horse go up 2 hearts when you're trying to tame it, but it will help with like the breeding. So if you are trying to do that, I just keep the apples for mainly just taming, and then all these extra things like green apples, for instance, you can put in the 3rd hotbar and you can use that to actually just feed it to the horses with pregnancy. There's also something you can use, which I don't know what the button is for mobile, but if you hit T or you hold T, you can see if you're on a horse, you can do a, actually an animation, I did not know that. You can do a buck, which flings you off the horse, doesn't really help you, it's just there, I guess. And then a jump buck, which also flings you off. And then if you are off the horse, or if you're on it, depends which one you want to do, you can have stay here, move to, and follow. So if I hit stay here, then they are going to stay in one spot. They will not follow me. If I hit follow, they will start following me. And if I hit move to, this little circle will pop up and I can basically just click anywhere and they will walk over there and they will stay over there. And they will basically do that unless you do another command like follow. Now for the Robux shop, I wanted to put this in here as well. If you make any purchases, it will be wiped after alpha and beta versions. So just keep in mind if you are buying stuff for Robux, as it will be wiped in the future. But if you do make any purchases, this is why I'm adding this into this, you will actually get an alpha support badge title. So I'm actually going to do this real quick because I want this. 400? Hold on. That says 15 Robux. Oh, I don't have enough? Wait a minute. Okay, so now I have enough. I must have bought like a private server and it just updated that, I guess. So if I go and I buy this, for example, 15 Robux is not that bad. I can just buy this and now I have 600 coins. I didn't really need that, but I wanted to show you guys. And now if I type in chat, I have the supporter role. It's nothing too big, but if you want to have that for the future as like, I guess, a bragging right or something, you can do that and support the game, as well as it's helpful to support the game and stuff. In settings, you can change the music, the ambiance, the effects, and the interference or interface, whatever that says. You can basically just slide those. I just want to put that in here. Also, camera effects. I don't know what that does necessarily. I think it removes the shaking. Okay, hold up. Look, watch this. So if I do this, you can see the camera kind of gets affected when it's on. So if you do not like that and it gets you dizzy for some reason, you can always just remove that. And it's something you can just remove and it won't be like there for you. So the last kind of thing I kind of want to talk about is the breeds. We have the gargoyle, which I'm writing right here, and the unicorn and the horse. In the future there will be different breeds, which I will be making a development video pretty soon about that, so if you guys want to see that, stick tuned to my channel because I will be posting that soon. Talking about all the breeds, or species I should say, for the game that they're going to be adding. Right now these are the only 3, and you can see the kind of difference in all of them. They will have different patterns, they will have different textures, they will have different looks, which you can use to kind of imagine that it's a Clydesdale or something like that if you want. I don't know. But yeah, basically this is what they both look like. I love the unicorn. It's like very skinny, so I don't know, I just love it. I don't like the gargoyle as much. Honestly, I like the horse for the moment as the favorite one. But yeah, these are the 3 breeds, or the species I should say, that they have in the game right now. In the future there'll be tons more, so that is pretty exciting. And adding on to that, both of these, or all 3 of these, spawn basically anywhere on the map. I'm pretty sure unicorns and the gargoyles have certain spots, like the gargoyles rare to spawn in the forest, which is right here. But they all do spawn around the map. They're just much more rare to see than the horses, so I would be very cautious when you're looking for them, because a lot of people probably are too. So if you see one, just jump at it right away, because if not, someone else is probably going to take it. So the unicorns, I think our spawns rate is bigger than the gargoyles. I'm not exactly sure, I just know that the horses spawn more frequently than the unicorns and the gargoyles do together. So that's basically everything you need to know about the game and how to basically play it. So you basically just go into the game and you go around taming horses, breeding them, and that's how you play the game basically. There's also a little bar here that shows how many tames you got. So every time you tame one, whether you sell or keep it, it will go up if you're kind of person to look at that type of stuff. But that's basically it for today's video. If you have any extra questions, please do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see if I can answer them. I hope you guys did enjoy and found this information useful to you. But with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.